See, this the problem. Y'all waiting on somebody to come and galvanize y'all. Y'all waiting on somebody to come and tell you what we need to do and lead us to the promised land. But that's not going to happen. Nobody is coming. There's no black Messiah that's about to come and give us instructions on what we need to do to beat the system. They've already figured out how to compromise our leaders before they ever get in a position to do that. And so the only way that things are going to change is if you activate yourself. If you make the conscious decision to change yourself and your behaviors. If we make the conscious decision collectively to change our behaviors. Sharing news on social media is not activism. Posting about what's going on and then complaining about it is not activism. Activism is changing yourself and your mindset, changing your family dynamics and your family structure, changing the things that's not right in your community, changing how we react to our environment. The system is the environment. People always say the system, systematic racism, systematic oppression, but nobody ever explains what the system is. The system is the environment. When they study mice, they put them in a structured, in a cultivated, in a manufactured environment so that they can predict how they will react. Once they understand how those animals are going to react, now they're in control. Now they know what they're going to buy. They know what they're going to watch. They control how they treat one another and ultimately control their lives. The system is nothing but an environment that has been set in place for us, and 80 to 90% of us move along life with predictable behavior. They know what you're going to buy. They know what you're going to watch. They know what you're going to do every single day because you're not thinking for yourself. You are reacting to an environment that has been set for you. We are so consumed with propaganda, consumed by what we have been taught, that we are destroying ourselves. They don't even need to do anything to us. If you really want to change the world, you need to change how you react to your environment. Stop eating what they tell you to eat. Stop watching what they tell you to watch. Stop buying what they entice you to buy. Stop giving your children what they tell you your children need, and do the due diligence for yourself and your family to see what you need to do to thrive. See, back in the day, they used to hide information from us because information was power. And so they hid things from us and we didn't know. Now they've introduced us to so much ignorance that all the information that we need is right in our face and we refuse to read it. Everything you need to know about the world, about changing your life, about changing your circumstances is on your phone and you refuse to read it. It's not their fault anymore. We self-check. In basketball, when somebody is not a threat, we don't even take the energy to guard them because they self-check. Now, right now, most of us are self-checked. We're not even a threat to society because we're destroying ourselves. The number one absolute catalyst to change is self-accountability. I am accountable to myself, regardless of my circumstances, regardless of my situation, regardless of what has been done to me. I am responsible for my decisions and my actions. Once you take ownership and responsibility, nobody has control over you. Good or bad, it falls on you. It's not the government's fault. Then once you take self-accountability, you take accountability and ownership of your family. And you start to change the dynamics of your family by taking control of what your children do, what your children are exposed to, taking control of your lineage, taking control of your relationships, and not allowing outside influences to dictate your household. It don't matter what the laws are. My house is my law. Nobody controls what's going on in my house. And then once you've taken control over your home and your family, now you can involve yourself in improving the things in your community, affecting the things in your community, giving your time and energy to the things that directly impact the people around you. The government is not going to do that for you. This is a collective mindset that we need to have. The Asian community votes less than any other group and yet they have the highest per capita income of any group in the country. Do you think that they're waiting for the government to dictate their collective success? We have over $1.5 trillion in spending power annually, and yet we have an average net worth of less than $20,000. I don't want to hear about what any other group of people is doing until we figure out how to take control over the system, until we confidently say that we are doing everything ourselves to change our circumstances. See, this is the thing about the system. You have to make the decision for it to work. When they put mice in a maze, those animals still have to choose which door to go through. The system makes one option more appealing than the other, but you still have to choose. The devil don't force you to do anything. He only entices and encourages you through temptation. But for his plan to work, you have to choose. But when you know and you are still making the bad decisions, that is on you. We know for an absolute fact that the government allowed drugs and guns into our community. We have documented evidence of that. And so if you still choosing to sell dope, if you still choosing to terrorize your community, that's not the system's fault. That's on you. We know for an absolute fact that the best environment for a child to grow up in is a two-parent household. So if you are choosing to bring children into the world under different circumstances, that's not the system's fault. That's on you. We know for an absolute fact that the current education system is not preparing our children for the future. And so if you continue to rely solely on the education system to teach your children, the results of their success is on you. Change begins from within. Melanomics is a set of economic and philosophical truths that apply to our community. There are two ways to beat a system. You can destroy it or you can infect it. And unless y'all ready to go to war, we need to infect the system with our behaviors, with our actions. We need to infect the system with love for one another, infect it with a change in our behavior so that our decisions, our habits, and ultimately our lives are no longer predictable. Wealth mindset.